Paul Castañeda.
Good morning, Chairman Wilson. I'm here as one of the co-founders and a member of the Board of Directors for Citizens for Better Arizona. But as I said on June 6th, more importantly, I'm a taxpayer and a resident of Maricopa County. I live in Northwest Phoenix, and Chairman Wilson, you are my elected representative on the Board of Supervisors. You're here to represent me as a voter, a taxpayer, and a representative and a resident of District 4. So I have a couple questions around item 22 for you. Does this donation cover all the expenses that were incurred to send the deputies to Hawaii?
I can't respond to your questions.
I'd like clarification. I believe this is an agenda item. I'm asking you specifically around that item.
We could ask David, but during the general items you can, or we could get staff to respond.
David, you want to?
Mr. Chairman, you're allowed to respond with regards to this specific agenda item.
Okay. What was the question again?
Again, does this donation cover all the expenses that were incurred to send the deputies to Hawaii?
Mr. Chairman?
I don't know.
My understanding is there's somebody from the Sheriff's Office that can address that question. So I don't know who it is, but...
Is that true? Would you like to respond to that?
Yes, sir. Would you like me to approach her from here?
Step up here if you'd like to.
Come on, Tom. Come on up, Tom.
With regards to, I'm sorry, first of all, my name is Dave Tromby with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I'm a Deputy Chief over Patrol Resource Bureau. So in response to the question, does it cover all of the expenses? Because of the way our payroll records work, the final amount is yet to be determined. However, what I can tell you is that the donation that is being offered would cover the travel expenses and a good portion of his, or if not all of his actual hourly wages. There is, we believe, going to be some overtime. However, we do have the option and ability to potentially receive additional funds from another posse if they choose to do so, like they have in this case, to again offset those expenses and to keep, in Sheriff Arpaio's word, this out of the taxpayer's pocket.
Thank you.
So it does cover their wages, apparently, because Sheriff Arpaio, in a press conference, did state that this would not cover his wages, that the department was picking up those wages. So I'm kind of unclear as to, was Arpaio telling the truth at that press conference, or are you telling the truth here today, that it covers the wages? I mean, there seems to be some confusion from what Arpaio said on public record on TV and what the deputy just stated.
I think you could probably follow up with the deputy for any clarification, but I think it was...
Okay. Does it also cover in that cost any administrative fees for processing the payroll, any additional expenses that may have been incurred to send this deputy over there? No, nobody has an answer to that?
Mr. Chairman, maybe Mr. Tromby can come back up, and I have a question for him. Because this issue is one that has come up. We have a lot of people here today, I think, are going to talk on it. So by the sheriff accepting these donations or asking us to accept them, is that saying that he knows it wasn't justified to do it?
And I'm sorry, Supervisor Wilcox, I don't understand the question. If you could one more time, please.
These are donations that the sheriff is asking us to accept. Does this mean that he is saying publicly that he is going to accept donations because he knew the county money should not have been spent this way?
Well, I don't believe so. Sorry. I don't believe so, but I don't wish to speak directly for the sheriff. I'm trying to let you all know, and everybody here that has concern, that again, the sheriff is keeping to his word in ensuring that taxpayer money, as he stated, wouldn't be spent on this posse investigation. There's a timing issue when we have to send a sworn peace officer, deputy, along with a posseman, much like we do extraditions at times. So that in order to be able to do that, we have to front, for lack of a better term, the travel expenses to get that individual with that postman out there. The fact that expenses were incurred is being addressed here today by this donation. And I apologize if I didn't answer your question, but...
Well, I think you answered the best that you know. It just seems very odd that when we give money through our budget to the sheriff for public safety, we realize that there are extraditions, there's travel involved, but we have never had the instance where money's donated to us to do public safety work that is justifiable. So I just have a real concern that was this money used in the correct manner? Perhaps, Tom, you could look into this, because if this money is being substituted because it was not used in the correct manner, perhaps there's a budget violation that we should look at. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
I had a couple more questions. My next question would be, does this donation cover all the costs to Maricopa County Sheriff's Office expenses whenever Sheriff Arpaio holds a press conference to talk about the birther issue? He's there, there's other deputies, his security team is there. Is all that cost covered by this $5,000 donation? Because if not, he is still continuing to use taxpayer dollars to pursue this birther issue.
Thank you. Sandy, would you like to comment on, not to him directly, but to us on this?
Mr. Chairman, board members, I did want to just say a couple of notes to clarify the process that we have regarding reviewing expenses for the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office at this point is on a line item review. What we do is we review the costs after they're incurred. So what we will be doing and can do for the board on this particular issue is take a look at the travel and the staffing expenses once they hit, which they probably will be hitting in the June close. So I'm talking about probably sometime in July, and then we can report back. But we will be looking at the appropriate use of the travel, make sure it fits all of our travel procedures and policies, and as well as take a look at the total cost of the trip. So we can do that. We work very closely with the Sheriff's Office and can report back at probably in about a month.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think, Sandy, if you can give us that report in a format that answers some of the questions that we've been asked. Is this the total cost, travel, wages, and everything? What's the total cost of that whole trip?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Wilcox, yeah, we're glad to do that. I hear some murmuring in the audience about the fact that we work closely with the Sheriff's Office. I just want to address that quickly. Of course we do. The Sheriff's Office is on a line item review, and it's necessary and appropriate for us to work closely with the Sheriff's Office on reviewing expenses, and we do that on a monthly basis.